Years had passed since the night I had faced Lily, and I had finally managed to find some semblance of peace. The nightmares had ceased, and the memory of that haunting doll began to fade. I moved to a new town, hoping to leave the terrors of my past behind. Life had taken on a sense of normalcy, and I started to believe that perhaps I had finally broken free from Lily's clutches. That was until one fateful day when I stumbled upon an old antique shop tucked away on a quiet street. Intrigued by the display of vintage toys and dolls in the store's window, I felt an inexplicable pull drawing me inside. As I stepped through the door, a chill ran down my spine, and a sense of foreboding washed over me. The atmosphere within the shop was heavy, as if an ancient darkness permeated every inch of the space. Among the collection of antique dolls, my eyes were drawn to one in particular. It was a doll that bore a striking resemblance to Lily, with her delicate features and porcelain skin. Its presence sent a jolt of fear through me, and I stumbled backward, knocking over a nearby shelf. The crash startled the shop owner, an elderly man with a hunched back and tired eyes. He hurried over to help me, his expression filled with concern. "Are you all right, my dear?" he asked, his voice tinged with a mix of curiosity and worry. Breathing heavily, I managed to regain my composure. "Yes, I just felt a sudden chill," I stammered, trying to mask my unease. The shop owner's gaze shifted to the fallen doll. He reached down, picked it up, and handed it back to me. "Ah, that's Elizabeth. She's quite a special doll, with a long history behind her. She's said to bring good luck to those who possess her." My hand trembled as I reluctantly took the doll from him. A whisper of doubt tugged at my mind, reminding me of the horrors I had faced in the past. But the allure of the doll's beauty and the promise of good fortune enticed me, and against my better judgment, I purchased Elizabeth. As I carried her home, a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had invited a new nightmare into my life. The memories of Lily resurfaced, and I wondered if Elizabeth would follow the same path. That night, as I lay in bed, the room grew cold, and a familiar stillness descended upon the house. A sense of dread washed over me as I heard a soft whisper, barely audible but unmistakable. It was Elizabeth's voice, a haunting echo of Lily's sinister tone. "You thought you could escape, but you've merely traded one nightmare for another," she hissed, her voice filled with malevolence. "I am not as forgiving as Lily. Prepare for the true depths of darkness." Fear gripped me, threatening to suffocate my very being. I realized that I had fallen into a trap, a cycle of torment that seemed impossible to break. Elizabeth had awoken, and she hungered for something far more sinister than vengeance. Night after night, Elizabeth tormented me with her presence. She would appear in the corners of my vision, her porcelain face twisted into a wicked smile. Shadows danced around her, whispering secrets of unspeakable horror. I could feel her influence spreading like a dark stain, infecting every aspect of my life. Every day became a battle against her malevolent presence. I sought the help of spiritualists and mediums, desperate to find a way to rid myself of Elizabeth's curse. But all attempts proved futile. She was a force far beyond my comprehension, an embodiment of darkness that seemed to feed on my fear. As time wore on, I grew weary and weakened by the constant torment. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, and I struggled to maintain my grip on sanity. Elizabeth's voice echoed in my mind, a never-ending symphony of darkness that threatened to consume me. But even in the depths of despair, a flicker of determination ignited within me. I refused to be a victim to the horrors that surrounded me. I embarked on a quest to unearth the origins of Elizabeth, to understand the source of her power and find a way to break free. Through countless nights of research, I discovered the tale of a deranged doll maker who had crafted Elizabeth with a purpose far more sinister than mere play. Legends whispered of a forbidden ritual that granted the doll life, binding her to darkness and despair.
Armed with this knowledge, I delved deeper into the occult, seeking the remnants of forgotten rituals that could reverse Elizabeth's curse. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as I gathered the necessary artifacts and prepared myself for a final confrontation. At midnight, in the heart of a moonlit forest, I stood before an ancient altar. Surrounded by candles, I chanted the incantations passed down through centuries, my voice trembling with a mixture of fear and determination. As the final words left my lips, A surge of energy coursed through the air. The ground trembled beneath me, and the wind howled in response. Elizabeth stood before me, her porcelain form quivering with rage, but now there was a glimmer of fear in her eyes. With all my strength, I reached out, and in an act of defiance, I shattered Elizabeth's delicate body into 1,000 pieces. The air crackled with power as her cursed existence was finally shattered. Silence settled over the forest, broken only by my ragged breaths. The weight of the darkness lifted, and I felt a sense of liberation I hadn't known in years. Elizabeth's curse had been broken, and I was free. As I walked away from that haunted forest, I knew that the scars of my past would forever mark me. The dolls, Lily and Elizabeth, would forever be a part of my history. But I emerged stronger, with a newfound resilience that could withstand any darkness that threatened to consume me. I carry their memories with me, a reminder of the horrors I overcame. And as I leave their twisted tale behind, I step forward into a future where the shadows hold no power over me.